Hey guys, it is Tuesday, so we are on Celiac Awareness Month, day 28. My name is Tracy, otherwise known as Healthy Happy Momsy, and I'm here to answer your questions regarding celiac and address a lot of the top questions that I see coming through basically on my group, which is Positive Celiac and Gluten-Free Support, as well as questions that people come to me and ask because that's kind of how I ended up doing my blog. So, today we're going to talk about makeup, skincare, things like that. I saved this towards the end actually for a really good reason. It has to do with kind of the level of importance of it and the complicatedness of the answer. So who am I? What's my background? As I said, my name is Tracy, otherwise known as Healthy Happy Momsy. After teaching and then going into pharmaceutical sales for 17 years, I found out part of the way through that I was actually diagnosed with celiac as a result of my daughter realizing that her ear infections were being triggered with basically from an intolerance to gluten. Did some more exploration into that, and 10 years ago actually I was officially diagnosed with celiac, went through the full protocol that is required, and then realized the amount of time that I was spending with researching and having a better understanding of celiac, understanding of health and wellness, and changed what I was doing as far as the way that I was eating. I had a lot of people that are coming to me asking me questions, and then I just felt a calling on my heart that although the medicines that I sold were life-changing medicines, they helped so many patients. I felt a bigger calling on my heart to leverage my teaching background and to be able to teach people how to live healthier lives, to help people to enable themselves to need a lot less of those medicines that I had sold. So they were helpful, but what if you don't need the medicines? So I work with people with lifestyle, exercise, attitude, nutrition. I am also an entrepreneur. I am partnered with an amazing health and wellness company that actually completely changed the way that I approach eating, made things simpler, and helped me to achieve more of my goals than the ones that I was reaching before that. So anyway, I love getting to help people, whether it has to do with working on their health goals, their financial goals, understanding celiac better. That's just, it's in my heart. So anyway, because it is Celiac Awareness Month, I wanted to be able to share with you guys tips every day regarding celiac and some helpful hints. And so that means that regardless of where I am or what's going on, whether I'm in the garden, whether I'm actually like back in my office today, I'm going to do the go live. So anyway, thank you guys for working with me this past weekend, as I did have to have a little bit of flexibility for some family time. But I am committed to helping answer your questions. So this question comes up, and then especially people that are newly diagnosed, they're like, wait, what? I am trying to figure out what is actually safe and healthy for me to put in my mouth for me to eat. And now I'm reading this stuff and people want to know if their hair color has to be gluten-free, if their makeup has to be gluten-free, if their skincare has to be gluten-free. And I can share the answers for some different resources where it does have gluten-free products. And here's the answer. It depends. So I'm sorry to be complicated with it, but that's the reality of it. So what does it depend on? There are certain products that are basically smart for you to think about as far as what should be gluten-free. And those are going to be the items that are definitely going to end up in your mouth. Ladies, I know we do not go out and intentionally buy lipstick based on what we think it's going to taste like, but the reality of it is that there's a whole lot of lipstick that we end up, like as our lips peel, things like that, you end up ingesting it. And it's not on purpose. So that is definitely one skincare item that I would absolutely highly recommend for anybody with celiac to be gluten-free. The rest, like I said, it depends. So what do I mean, and what are the factors to consider? Well, we already know that people with celiac are, depending on what age they are when they get diagnosed with celiac, the older they are, the more likely it is that you'll have other comorbidities going on, other autoimmune inflammatory diseases going on. And so if you have some of those, you probably are in a category, and I see this a lot, that a lot of these people, like myself, also have skin sensitivities to different things, which can be highly annoying because we don't always know where those rashes or reactions are coming from. And I know that that's so incredibly frustrating to me because of the fact that I'm thinking, wait a second, like, I haven't changed my laundry detergent, I haven't changed this, what's going on? I can even react to little things like, I can only use certain kinds of nail polish because my body is just reacting to a lot of the other chemicals. It doesn't mean that they have gluten though. It means that I know that my body, because of different responses to things, because of the fact that I started tracking in 3rd grade with having hives head to toe, couldn't figure out what was going on. I know that there's going to be certain things that I have to be cautious with. So if I try a new skincare routine, then I know that I need to try to keep up with that, document any changes that I notice. That makes it hard because I always want to try different things, but I have to make sure that if I change one thing up that could cause a reaction, I can't try more than one thing. So I would also think about the age of the person that you're dealing with. So when you're dealing with small children as well, which first of all, you think about like bath care for babies, for infants, for toddlers, how many times do they cry because they get shampoo in their eyes? No, your eyes are not a matter of the gluten thing. But, kids, when you're trying to like wash their hair and then you rinse it, like maybe you try to get them to tilt their head back just right. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't, but a lot of the time you end up with they're crying. I know that this was definitely a challenge that I had with my daughter. And so if it's likely to end up in their mouths based on the age, you're probably going to want to read the ingredients anyway, not just because of gluten, but you're probably going to want to make sure that you're using less toxic ingredients. So, and I can't tell you if Johnson & Johnson is gluten-free or not, but I can tell you there's a whole lot of other toxins in Johnson & Johnson, which I know is very common. But I would be looking for a lower toxicity rating in the ingredients that you're using on your small children, on your infants, especially when they have celiac. So if you happen to have found out when they were very young, I would highly consider using just less toxic ingredients in general. As far as like hair care, skin care, things like that, think about and some of this is going to be like just me speaking real truth here. You've got to think, am I really good at washing my hands? And I bring this up because it's a disgusting fact, but if you were to sit in a public bathroom and just tally how many people go in the bathroom and don't wash their hands when they come out, whether they're, whatever it is that they have to take care of as far as their business goes in the stall, it is disturbing how many people don't wash their hands thoroughly, don't use soap. So think about that too. When there's different meals, especially when it comes to this time of year, there's cookouts. And so with cookouts, people are eating, hamburgers, hot dogs, chips, things like that. If you're going to be using skincare, if you're going to be using, some bug spray, if you're going to be using sunscreen, things like that, if you're not going to properly wash your hands before you eat, which you should anyway, then I would absolutely say I would make sure that those types of products are gluten-free. If you know that you're going to react to different ingredients, then you should absolutely be watching for those. But I'm also going to say that because of all the toxins that are in our skincare these days, it is highly likely that you're reacting to something other than just gluten, and not because of celiac, but because of the fact that, especially if you're watching this in the US, in other countries, in order for things to be approved, they have to prove that they're safe. In the US, in order for things to be approved, it's more like in order for things to be yanked from the market, they have to prove toxicity. So we're backwards in the US as far as all that goes. So there's a lot of ingredients that are in our skincare that are not approved in other countries. And there's reasons why other countries don't approve them, because those other countries have not found them to be safe. They have also found that some of these ingredients can in fact be dangerous. So in the US, they tend to take things a little bit differently. This is not a political discussion. Please don't post political comments. I'll pull them. But in the US, things are just different. So if you find that you are reacting to different things, if you find that you have done all the other things where you have checked with the ingredients, you've made sure that you're not consuming too many of the pre-made gluten-free foods, which would then put you past that threshold of the parts per molecule for what is actually considered safe. If you have found that you have been doing your symptoms and your food intake and that you still can't find a trigger in there, then I would say start looking around. Start looking at things like your hair care, like your skin care, like your makeup, like your sunscreen, like your bug screen. And if you're using the spray stuff, which I admit as a mom, I use the spray sunscreen, there's a whole lot of data that actually is now showing that that's not that great for you. And I kind of started wondering about that. So I personally try not to use the spray sunscreen unless I'm in a place where they're trying to push for it, if my child is at an event. But I hate it because I really don't want to open my mouth and absorb those chemicals either, nor do I want them to. I know that it's fast, but fast doesn't always mean that it's good. So anyway, keep track of those things. Know your body. And also, this is a big one. Just because you might react to it don't assume everybody else is going to. Yes, on the online groups, you can share your experience so that if you found you react to something, that might help somebody else by you telling them that, hey, I found I react to this. But please be considerate when people come on and they are newly diagnosed, especially if you have multiple diagnoses behind. You can share that, but please don't tell them that just because you react to something that they're going to react to it as well, unless it has gluten, clearly. But just take it kind of one step at a time. If it's something that's going to likely be in your mouth, so your toothpaste, your mouthwash, your floss, I know that seems weird. Ask your dentist or your dental hygienist when they're doing the teeth treatment. Make sure that that does not have gluten in it, because I have heard of some of the flavors with fluoride could have gluten in it. Those things, absolutely, most definitely. Anything else, make sure that you're tracking exactly what it is that you are possibly reacting to. See if there's other common things that have similar ingredients, and that's where those symptom trackers are really good. And if you have an allergy to wheat, barley, or rye, which wheat would be one of the top 8. So if you have an actual allergy to wheat on top of having celiac, the answer is don't use anything with wheat in it. And please know, especially your hair care stuff, please know that there's definitely some things where there's like wheat collagen, wheat this, wheat that. Please know that if you have an allergy to wheat, in addition to your celiac, don't use it. And also look up what those terms are, because they can sometimes change. So I'd love to post those terms for you, but because of how much they change, that's really hard for me to do. So, and to keep that updated. So anyway, I hope that helps. I hope you guys have an amazing day. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please comment if you have questions about what else I can cover, different topics that I haven't managed to get to yet. And for those that are wondering about the local news spot, actually, I just got a message earlier that it will be aired tomorrow morning at 6:40 on WFMY News. So 6:40 a.m. tomorrow will be my online or on-air interview that was recorded last week. So thank you guys for tuning in. Have a great day.